Hello, this is Courtney with St. Clark Creative. Thanks for joining me today. Today's card is a fast and simple birthday card. This is something I put together for my daughter. She just turned 11. Starting off with some Gina cardstock in Blue Lagoon, Bubblegum Pink, Passionate Pink, and also using some Neenah Classic Crest cardstock, 110 pound for the card base and 80 pound for a die cut panel we're going to do. I'm also using Fawn large Slimline with sliders die set, not using the sliders, and Concord and Ninth's bold and brushy bundle, which includes the upper and lower stamp set, and then also the Stamp Market's skinny upper numbers die set. My daughter just turned 11, so I'm using the 1 to create an 11 for her. So this is what we're using today. Also using Gina ink that matches up with a couple of the cardstocks, Bubblegum Pink and Passionate Pink. So that using the same color cardstock and ink is great because it helps keep everything tied together. So these rectangles, the large rectangle measures 3.5 by 8.5, which is my preferred Slimline card size, just because I can cut it easily out of a regular sheet of paper. So I'm here checking because the width of that die is 8.5 and my cardstock is 8.5. I'm just making sure I had that aligned correctly so that it cut the exact right size. So the large rectangle, the smaller rectangle is an inch smaller on both sides, so 7.5 inches wide by 2.5 inches long. And then out of a scrap piece of Neenah 80 pound cardstock, I'm cutting a panel that's 1.5 inches by 6.5 inches, just so the measurement between all three rectangles will match. And this is what my sentiment is going to go on Happy B-Day. So I've taken these script letters, and before off camera, basically, I kind of did a rough alignment, seeing how they all fit on the card, so I knew about how much spacing I had, and it worked out pretty good for this. So I just alternated between light and dark colors and stamped all those on. And then when die cutting, I cut 3 sets of each one. So I layered 2 white and then 1 pink on the top. You could, of course, do all 3 layers in the same color, but I like seeing that white underlayment, I guess. That white underneath, I think it helps show off the dimension just a little bit. So that's how I prefer to do my layered die cuts when I'm using a colored on top. So I'm just using liquid glue to adhere all these together. I like using the Gina Connect. My other go-to is the Distress Collage Medium. But I like using liquid glue just because it's easy to slap it on and move it around a little bit if you need to, just to get proper alignment. Then I'm using Scotch foam tape to pop up this second panel a little bit, just cutting a couple pieces that'll be long enough to give a little bit of dimension. And then on that last panel, because the 2 Fawn die cuts have stitching around them and the cut eyepiece manually does not have a stitch border, it needed something just to help make it look like it wasn't just some random piece of cardboard slapped on top. So I created a border just by running the edge of the Passionate Pink ink pad on the edges. That just helps finish off that panel a little bit. So I use a little bit of liquid glue to put that panel on and liquid glue to put the 11 on. And then we're in the home stretch of this card. So just to add a little bit to the 11, I took my Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen in glitter gloss, and after making sure the ink was running on a scrap piece of cardstock, I just colored over the top of the ones, making sure I only got the one, not any of the cardstock beneath it. And it dries quick and just adds a little bit of glimmer to that number there, just to help accentuate it. And then I went with some sequins just to help finish the card off a little bit, just give it a little bit more pizzazz, but not getting too crazy. So again, use the Gina liquid adhesive to adhere those. And with that, the card was finished. So not a lot of time. quick and easy project. Essentially some letter stamps and a couple dies, and we're good to go. This card would work fine flat. I just like the little bit of added dimension from popping up that second panel, but there you go. Thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.